Alright, what is going on, guys? Got another breakdown for UFC 285. This one's on the prelims at middleweight. We got Dricus Duplessis taking on Derek Brunson. About even on reach, and they're the same height. Brunson, 39 years old. Duplessis recently turned 29. So I guess I will start with Derek Brunson, 39 years old now, which is crazy to think about. But he has talked about retirement in the near future. I will get to that. But yeah, he's had a great run over the last few years. It's nice to see for a guy who has always earned his roster spot for sure. He's lost to the top dogs and at one point was seen as just a gatekeeper that you feed to top contenders. And he took out so many of those top contenders over a 2-3 year period and got himself to a title elimination bout. So good for him. But prior to that Cannonier fight, like I was saying, he has said that he sees about two more fights in his future. I think including this one, if he's still on that timetable, this will be his last fight. Yeah, I don't know if he said anything. I could be wrong. Haven't really looked, in all honesty, but yeah, we'll probably only see Derek Brunson one or two more times in the octagon. And I gotta say, the splits on fighters who announce their retirement or put a timetable on their retirement, it seems like betting against them is usually the way to go. It's not something that you just want to automatically go off that, but I'm just saying, it does seem to shake out that way. But obviously, it's going to come down to this. Derek Brunson, one of the better wrestlers on the whole roster, in my opinion, at least in terms of the way he applies it. He gets these strong double legs and, just rains ground and pound, punishing ground and pound. And, of course, he did get the rear naked choke against Darren Till, but it's primarily ground and pound. And, yeah, again, derailed a lot of these hype trains. Edmund Shabazian was not ready for the high-level wrestlers. They kind of really screwed up their management of his career. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. And yeah, he just had nothing for Brunson, just gets ground and pounded mercilessly, and eventually gets finished in the beginning of the third round against Kevin Holland, another guy who struggles with grapplers. It was Brunson all day. In that one, pretty much, Darren Till could be taken down by a high school level wrestler, it seems, and he had no trouble there either. And yeah, again, it's just the main thing for me is the age and the retirement on the horizon. And on the feet, Derek Brunson has never really had a ton. He does have some powerful hooks, but he's there to get hit. He does these big loopy motions, and he's somewhat chinny. Once that chin is tested, he just starts to fall back. And, it's a dangerous combination against a guy like Duplessis, who definitely does have that eye for just stepping on the gas and going for the finish. And so for Duplessis, obviously a big chance for him to get up into the upper echelons of the rankings. Came into the UFC with a lot of polish from KSW, fought some high-level opponents with KSW. And, this is definitely a guy who the UFC seems like they've wanted to build up. And I've been betting him in a lot of these matchups. I think, he's been favored big time in a lot of these matchups with a good price, I should add. So I think I've bet him in just about every fight up to this point. But again, I do think that the path has kind of been laid out for him. Stylistically, he does a lot of things well. He's definitely a guy who's motivated. And a lot of times it doesn't look all that clean on the feet, but he just stays in there. He looks off balanced a lot. He's sloppy himself. He leaves a lot of these big movements or big openings when he just kind of swings wildly, I should say. And he has a very leg kick heavy game plan, and a lot of times he throws these leg kicks just kind of off balance. He's in that boxing stance. He puts a lot into the leg kick with his rear leg. Jeez, struggling to talk, but yeah, he looks off balanced in a lot of these exchanges, and I think that if Derek Brunson's going to get the takedown, he's going to have a clear opportunity to shoot on these double legs in some of those openings. But, his takedown defense hasn't been tested too much in the UFC. We obviously got to believe that they're going to be game planning around that because Duplessis should have all the advantage on the feet. Again, sometimes he just doesn't look... It's not all that clean out there, but, he's definitely a guy who, it seems when he gets hit sometimes, it just kicks into high gear for him. And he's gotten a couple of his wins in the UFC that way. But, for me, I think his stock honestly dropped in that Darren Till fight because it shows that his cardio can be somewhat limited, and all those problems that I don't like about his game were very evident in the third round. And Darren Till is very good when he decides to go. He's a very good kickboxer, but just absolutely no takedown defense in that fight, no resistance to the choke, and du Plessis was able to pull that one out. But it looks scary, and I think that with against some more polished fighters, which there's not many of them in middleweight, thankfully for him, there just still are some matchups I think where I would definitely be looking to fade du Plessis. But for this one, I am gonna go with Dricus du Plessis. Again, mainly because just it's like the end of the line for Brunson. He's 39. He's looking past the finish line, and I just don't see, like, if you're Derek Brunson, you're coming into this fight, it's like, what are you really looking to gain here? You beat Dricus du Plessis, and it's not like you're one fight away from the title or anything like that. You're 39, so again, you don't want to go all in on intangibles when making a fight, but I do think Dricus du Plessis will find that perfect combination and put Brunson away in this one, maybe in the first or second round. But I'm not like 100% sold on du Plessis' takedown defense. If somebody wants to point me to some fights where I can get a read on that, that'd be great, because I've watched all of his UFC fights for this tape study, and I've watched a couple with KSW. I've watched the Roberto Soldic fights, and he has to use offensive and defensive grappling in a few of these fights, but nobody on the level of Brunson, who is just their main game plan is out there trying to get the takedown. So I am going to trust that, since du Plessis' team knows that and all these other factors going in his favor, that he's going to get this one done. But at minus 225, I think it's a fair price. I'm probably going to bet it. Again, I don't love this card for betting at all. It's just I think your best bet is to just lay the chalk and on some of these big favorites and just put them together and just pick the ones you want, because there's some tricky spots here for sure with these minus 200 in the minus 200 range. This one and the Gamrot one, neither one is like a sure thing, but yeah, for all those reasons, I'm going to side with Dricus du Plessis, and I may bet it. So thanks for watching, guys. Share, subscribe, and take it easy.